Hello, welcome along to the Wedding Help NI podcast. I'm Dale Thomas, and of course, it is Wedding Help NI, Northern Ireland's largest platform for wedding vendors, venues, and everything weddings. My guest today is Rory from Funky Doodles. Rory, welcome along. How's things?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me, Dale.
No worries, no worries. This is your first podcast.
This is my
You were
first
saying
podcast,
just before we came on, so it's all new.
Excited.
Don't worry, we're all new as well. We hardly know what we're doing, so it's
Good
all
stuff.
good.
Roll with it then.
So Rory, Funky Doodles. Rory, how did Funky Doodles come about? What were you doing even before Funky Doodles, or what happened?
I've always been cartooning, always been into art from a young age. You know, as soon as I seen Fred Flintstone the first time, I was just hooked on drawing. I was just practicing drawing from that age. Just loved it. And I started then when I was in high school, painting windows at Christmas.
Right.
So the seasonal window painting.
Yeah.
And that sort of took off, and through the year then, you know, all of the major holidays, Halloween, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, just constantly going with that. But always wanted to do caricature, always really into it, but it's a bit daunting sort of doing it on the spot, so it takes a long time to get that experience.
I suppose even we talked about this briefly before you came on, and I want to touch on loads of things, but like we were talking about how quick you can do like a drawing, like you were saying normally 4 minutes. And I find that amazing, like to catch something in 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's a maximum of 4 minutes. Now, thankfully, depending on the person, sometimes it's a bit less than that. But
yeah,
you know, you're booked for a drinks reception or something. You can't be taking too long. You don't want as many people done, and they don't want to be sitting too long either. You know.
Yeah, and the wedding market, how did that sort of come along for you? Or how did you? I suppose did you do anything? You know, you were saying you were doing windows and stuff before that, but the wedding market then, did you just think that's a natural sort of way to go, or what?
Yeah, there's always an ambition to kind of get into that industry, into the wedding industry. I do a lot of corporate type stuff as well, and I was getting a lot of like people contacting me looking for commission work, you know, from home, like, you know, family photos and things, but a cartoon style. It was just natural to go for it at weddings. And now the first one I was very nervous, like you can imagine, but once I got that one done, it just.
And it is quite a new concept to weddings as well. Like, you know, you would have seen maybe the very odd one, but it is quite a new concept, the whole thing of, you know, having a caricature at your wedding. Like,
it's amazing. Even now, you know, the amount of people sitting in front of me going, I didn't know this was a thing at weddings. And, you know,
it is. It's new, it's fun.
Yeah.
But do you know what? It's good family fun, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm yet been doing it now for 6 years and yet to offend anybody too badly, like, so.
Well, that's not too bad.
People see, as you say, it's family fun. Anybody who's willing to sit down in front of you, they're up for a bit of a laugh, and and it works perfectly. You know, for drinks receptions, people sitting about, and it's a good icebreaker nearly even for people, you know, watching along, and you know. And
with drink reception, would that be the main sort of time of the day, or do you think is there an option for like later, or is it normally?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah,
drinks reception.
Yeah, I've done evening ones as well, but generally I get booked for the drinks reception. I just think it's a good filler thing to do for that period. You know, in the evenings, people are maybe after their dinner, they're more ready for a boogie or whatever, you know.
It can be, and I suppose getting people to sit and relax
can be very difficult. Yeah,
could be very difficult at that.
Especially when they had a few drinks in them and things, you know. But the drinks reception, people are just sitting about, you know. There is they're maybe, you know, ready for their dinner or whatever. They're just trying to fill time. Really, I always find, you know, if I'm set up ready to go, making sure that the guests can actually see me drawing, it just pulls people in, and then, as I say, it just flows really well for that period. Like.
Perfect. All right, so of course, TV characters. Who would be your favourite TV character, or I suppose cartoon character?
Well, like, again, from back when I was a kid, I always remember the Flintstones. It was always on. I just loved it. I was able to draw Fred Flintstone from memory. I'd practiced it that much, like, you know.
Right.
Any books lying about the house or letters, you could guarantee there was probably a sketch of Fred Flintstone on the back of it. Just constantly doing it, you know, just really interested in it.
Yeah.
And then The Simpsons then too, was a big fan of. Probably a little bit of the Simpsons style in my work, actually.
Right, and did you find it hard to take that out? Like I suppose getting under drawn, you know, I think it's something you have to have a bit of an ability, a natural ability really to do that. Like, so did you find it harder? Did you realise, you know what, you have a natural ability?
I think I had a natural ability, to be honest, with the natural, to a certain extent, you know. I always loved it. So obviously the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it anyway. So that was obviously a little bit of a spark there, you know. But then, as I say, I think if you love it, then you're going to get better at it because you're going to keep doing it. It's not hard to get better because you love doing it. You know, so it's just over time. Don't get me wrong, you're always learning, like, you can always improve. But I really enjoy it, like, yeah.
And take it back, did you do anything? Is what you've always done then? Literally, so leaving school, did you have any part-time
Oh
jobs?
no,
or
well,
anything?
so actually, this is probably the second year I've done this properly because it was like a side hustle nearly
Aye.
for the 4 years prior to that, as in caricature. But I was self-servant. I'm self-servant still
Oh,
as well.
very
like,
good, very
so,
good.
So
And so you're doing this full time now then?
it's pretty much full time. It's like a half and half at the minute.
Brilliant,
Yeah,
aye,
but the
brilliant.
last 2 years have just really gotten really busy. So that's the stage I'm at now.
Brilliant, brilliant. And how do you find the wedding community? How do you find that?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's without it, it can be a lonely enough industry to be in. When you're working, there's not too many other kind of people generally that you can kind of turn to. Yeah, so it's nice to have a community there and just some people to reach out to, and also they're pushing you and they're getting your name over the place too. So
Aye, okay, I think it's nice even to have that background as well. If you're
yeah.
sort of at law, like I find even there's bookings where you mightn't get a lot of information, and you come to the day of the booking and you're sort of lost. And
absolutely, yeah.
I see me going on to the wedding help community and our own community group, and I might say anybody else this wedding, there's going to be somebody that's on our wedding help community that's at it.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
I'll say, look, it's the day of the wedding. I don't want to ask it right or whatever.
And
tell me this, tell me that.
Yeah.
And they can normally sort it out. You can normally find out what you're doing. Like,
it can often be the case, especially in busy season. You're one wedding to the next. So it is nice to have just somebody, as you say, you can just reach out to, get a bit more information. Just settles you a bit more too. You can end it, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. Yeah. How long a set do you do at a wedding? How long typically do you be?
Generally, it's about 3 hours I would do. So
that's long, so it is.
2 or 3 hours. Sometimes it's more even. I've sat for 5 hours before, but you don't see the time get in. Like, it's
funny. I was at a wedding all week in Kildare, and there was somebody doing the caricatures. But down in Kildare and stuff, I always find the mills and stuff, like they sort of just call them late. Like it's like even Peter, the producer, will tell you, like the southern times compared to northern times, you'll know yourself. It is a bit later, so it is at different times.
Yeah.
And it was really lit, and this guy was still sitting there drawing, and I was thinking, I wonder what time he started at. But so could have ended up a lot longer than what it was.
You do generally. I lose track of time because it's just one person after the other. And the next thing you hear the dinner call, they're telling you to stop it because they're trying to move on.
Everything's going that way.
It's the nature of it. It's a first come first serve, so you might have a queue of people. You're probably going to be disappointed by that stage because they have to move them on in. I know. It's just the nature of it.
But I suppose you were saying you can sort of do a draw in about 4 minutes or 4 minutes maximum.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So I suppose even somebody's booking you, there is a good chance there for guests to get their portrait done. You know.
Yeah. It's generally I'm not shy in getting somebody to come and sit down if there's nobody there, But I generally find the first person comes in, it just
goes on from that.
People can be nervous being the first one. Some people are looking and kind of going, and I have to coax them to come and sit down. But once they do, it's it's.
And I suppose it's always fun as well getting the bride or getting the groom to the picture as well. You have to
prioritise them as well, get them their spot. And that generally is really good because that's when everybody then comes over. You get a whole crowd of people then, and the atmosphere's great, and they're cracking jokes and all the rest, and it's a really nice, and then it's a good souvenir to take home for the day as well.
And you do all our services at weddings, isn't that right? As well, you do offer all our bits, isn't that right?
Yeah. So the likes of you maybe prior to it, you could get a illustration of the couple for like a signboard, or something like that. Or I've done ones before. I've done the top table, all as caricatures.
Oh, very good.
So that would be their table plan then, so you'd have it, and then underneath it's there's loads of things you could do. I'm open to.
So how does that work there? Just with a top table, for example, they would order that beforehand or something.
So they would basically send me reference photos of everyone,
right?
And then I always ask for a sort of description of their, hobbies or interests or something, just to get more personality into it, and then I would just have it all ready to go. As long you sort of asking them questions like. You might need a picture of the wedding dress, to make it more accurate, and then see.
Oh, that's lovely. But so, really, whenever they go to the top table, maybe instead of like a name card, they have like a wee picture, the wee caricature of themselves. That's lovely. So it's something different, isn't it?
It's really, it always gets a lot of attention,
That's brilliant. That is really
it's a bit of work in it, depending on the size of the top table. But as long as I've got those reference photos, and they'll have to then send me the table lists and all the rest, and I put it all together.
And where can people find out all the information? Have you got a website with all the information on it?
funkydoodles.co.uk, and then my socials as well. Instagram.
Where did the name? I know the name's quite thing, mate. It gives it away where it came from. But is there anything to the name?
There is actually. My dad come up with that name, but it wasn't in an art context. I was in the car with him one day when I was younger, and this song came on the radio, and I didn't know who it was. So I asked him, "Who's this? It's a class song? Who's this band?" And he just made up the Funky Doodles because he didn't know. Right. So then I spent ages in searching these Funky Doodles and never existed. Like
you never found the Funky Doodles.
Never found them. So you just made it up on the spot, and then when the time came to kind of look at this as a business, thought that's coming back to me at the end of that memory. Yeah. So that's where it originates from.
Very good. So that's nice as well. So you've got that bit of a context.
Good name for a band as well, probably.
Exactly. And it's all the same as well with your Instagram and your Facebook and everything's under Funky Doodles.
All under Funky Doodles. I sort of probably tend to use Instagram more than the others, just because it's good for art. You know, it's visual. We're visual probably, but yes, I'm on them all. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And I say the website too, yeah. I
say TikTok. Is that how does that do for you?
I'm new to it. Like I'm trying, but it's just completely different, isn't it?
I thought TikTok for that. Like I know I put up clips on TikTok of the show.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Some of them do really, really well.
Yeah.
And now I've heard about their algorithms and all, and they've changed their algorithms, so I'm not too sure. I don't know what that means. It's all over my head, but I know some of them are doing really well. But I thought for your stuff as well, if you're putting it up,
funny,
it probably it would do really well.
Yeah,
like, you know?
Funny. I'm actually looking at redoing how I put my content up. You'd probably see yourself if you were going TikTok. You know, there's viral caricatures of like the really extreme ones on the street and stuff. You ever see anything? My sort of approach has been to do time lapses of me drawing, which are pretty good, you know. But I think actually people just want to see the finished thing, along with who you're drawing. So might just kind of go down that side of things. You know yourself, you've only got a couple of seconds before they scroll on. I'm probably going to change the approach that way. But there's definitely potential there for caricature artists to go viral on TikTok.
Very good. We're going to try and get to know you now. So we've got loads of questions, and I'm going to wrap through questions. These questions because we've been given these questions, so we're going to go with them. So, what's your favourite sport?
I'm into soccer and the football. Big Man United fan.
We'll say nothing there. Man United fan. We're saying nothing.
I know.
Favourite reality TV show?
Reality TV show.
I'm going to say that I didn't write these questions, by the way, so then I was handed these questions to go with.
Not a big fan of reality TV. My wife loves it. She's watching. What's the one?
My wife's watching Love Island.
Yeah.
So does, and see from I think it starts at 9 o'clock, or I think there's like a later episode comes on. And I found it. I just go to an other room, so I watch something different.
That's the problem, because as soon as it's on, if you give it 5 minutes before you know it, you're hooked. And you don't really want to be hooked.
No, you know? I don't think I could be. I don't think I could be at all. You know, what's your favourite music group or your favourite singer?
I'm a big fan of Mumford & Sons.
Mumford & Sons are brilliant.
They're making a comeback there as well. So
I didn't know that.
I have been a guitar in my part times and my spare time. So So
there we go. So you're multi-talented. So. So you could be maybe bringing the guitar along for the afternoon drinks reception and do a bit there too. Which do you prefer, concert or outdoor festival? Concert or outdoor festival?
Outdoor festival, I think.
That's the way to go.
As long as it's good weather.
We need the weather, don't we, Fred? Who's better crack, the bride tribe or the groom's party?
It can be mixed. Too maybe unfair to say. It can depend. Usually it's always a bit of crack, usually pretty.
I would say with your thing as well, you probably get better crack with the older ones because it's probably something that they've never seen, and whenever you do it, they probably really cracks them up too.
Yeah. I'm lucky in that sense. I come in and just set up, and then they come to me, and it's just a bit of banter. Really, but, I've never really had a wedding that I haven't had a good time at. That kind of way,
Do you have a favourite month? This could be an awful question. Do you have a favourite month for a wedding?
Not particularly. I quite like Christmas weddings. Yeah, I quite like them. But generally, no, I don't mind any time of the year.
We'll take weddings any month of the year.
That's true. Yeah,
we're happy enough.
Take whatever we can get. Yeah, I like a Christmas wedding.
A spa break or activity break? Activity break.
Activity break. Spa would be good for a wee while, but a good board probably.
What sort of holidays are you into? yourself?
Last year we were in Spain, just a family holiday with the kids. But before we had kids, we'd done quite a lot of travelling. Always loved New York.
Right, aye.
Lovely, amazing place,
Aye. There's so much going on in New York. Like every street's something different. Me and the wife were there at Christmas. Like, and every street's sort of.
Certainly not a relaxing holiday. Like,
No, you always have to be at something. You always have to be doing something. You know.
Yeah.
And I would say even for drawing and stuff, you could get some amazing sort of sights out there because it's a city that everything's going on, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, amazing place.
So New York's your destination.
New York would probably be the top one. Yes.
Nice meal or shots and cocktails?
Oh, nice meal.
Nice meal. Same as myself.
Shots and cocktails. Those days are long gone now.
And is there anything else you can get out about your business, or anything else that you would like to get over today?
Probably that it is a thing, because as I said earlier, the amount of people who sit down and don't realise that this is the thing that happens at weddings, and it is quite new.
Aye.
But it is getting really popular, you know.
It definitely is.
It's a brilliant thing for drinks receptions in particular. Like, you know, it's all I would say is just sort of consider those things, you know.
Yeah. And in terms of booking, how far in advance? I'm sure you're like everybody, the sort of main dates,
they all
the May, Junes, Julys, August, the weekend dates, they go quite quick.
Yeah.
How far in advance are you taking bookings? Are you taking bookings right through?
Okay, yeah, I'll take, if I can do it, I will do it, you know. But as you say, this sort of probably from April onwards now to right up to the end of the year, I'm quite busy. Like, I've quite a lot in next year too, but you know, give me a shout, and if I can do it, I will. You know, I'm happy to travel wherever.
How far will you travel? You sort of happy enough?
Going, in fact, I've one on Friday here in Fordham Estate.
Oh, lovely. So down to Cavan, happy days.
Nice wee trip down, yeah.
Aye, happy days.
Yeah, I'm happy to travel anywhere, yeah. It's part of it's nature of the job too, isn't it? You have
it is, and do you know what? I always think it's good to travel because you meet new people. I think, you know, everywhere, you know, around the island, or you know, everywhere's different and everybody's different. You know, and how they react. I always think, you know, if you go to like a country wedding, you know, the reactions you get compared to like a city wedding and stuff. I know from my own show, and I'm sure you're the same if you're doing them drawings. You know how the country people react to the more city people and all.
True,
you get a different vibe off people, don't you?
You do. You can see.
You know?
It's a great way to see the country as well, isn't it? Like, and some amazing venues out there too. Otherwise, you never see.
I know, some beautiful venues, isn't there? And again, it's all Funky Doodle. Is it funkydoodle.com or is it
funkydoodles.co.uk?
funkydoodles.co.uk. And what's the best way to contact you? Is it through the website or through Instagram or?
I really don't mind. Well, quite a lot of people just WhatsApp me. You know, my number and all's there. Whatever's handy for people. Like, you know, generally email, WhatsApp, whatever suits. Some people sort of have their own preference of how they do these things, you know. But yeah, I get all sorts different methods of contacting me.
Brilliant. I think it's going to be something that's just going to get bigger and bigger. Well, I really do. Look, we talked about it before we came on the podcast today, and I think, you know, the more and more people see this, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and it's a real niche market because there isn't many doing it at all. You know, it's
that's what I found now the last 2 years, especially when I joined Wedding Help. You know, it's just gone bigger and bigger. So yeah, it's nice to do something you enjoy.
And how do you find Wedding Help? Do you find it? You know, you post it on the group and all. Do you find it? I'm sure you get lots of inquiries.
Lots of support. You do. Yeah. It's a great way to just get your name out there. You know yourself. People are on that site because they're looking for suppliers, and
exactly.
So it's brilliant. It's such a big community now too. That's growing and growing. So you're part of it. Like it's great.
Brilliant. Yeah. I think we've covered everything we need to get today, haven't we?
I think so, yeah.
Fantastic. You've been drawn away, so you have.
You know, I stopped halfway through there.
If you stop,
I'll finish off quickly.
We'll go for it.
It's amazing though the amount of people you do this with, and they're all for it, and then they sit down, and then they start to get a bit self-conscious when I start drawing, like, you know.
I'm just thinking about it. I don't care. I'm excited and nervous at the same time, so I'm wondering what's going to happen here. How am I going to look? So certain things that you work with in terms of, you know, you prefer pencils and stuff like that, or like pens, or like.
I love a marker. I love a brush marker because you can get the thick and thin lines very easily on them.
Do you do any painting then as well, or do you?
I do, not so much anymore. I do a lot of work on the iPad.
Very good, eh?
So I do a lot of illustration. I do children's books and things, and I use iPad for all of that.
Very good, eh? And you were involved in Derry Girls, isn't that right?
That's right. Yes, I got a message from someone on Facebook just saying that Derry Girls were looking for a caricature artist, so just submitted a couple of my drawings, and they got back to me to say they wanted me to play the role of a caricature in the last episode.
Very good.
So it was a great experience, yeah. So it was in 2 scenes, but it was very brief, but my drawings that are in them too, like, and as I say,
that's class.
Yeah, it was some experience now to be filming with them all. for the
I'm
day.
Reg and you were in Derry Girls. You're not even from Derry, and there's me from Derry, and I couldn't even get in an episode of Derry Girls.
Unfortunately, they were looking for a caricature artist, and
And did you film? Was that filmed? That was mostly it was filmed up here, wasn't
it was in
it? Around
Belfast,
wasn't it?
we went to the location. Can't remember the name when I was at a restaurant somewhere, and then it was like getting in the back of a van that took us somewhere. I have no idea to this day where it actually was. It was in Belfast somewhere.
Aye,
It was
aye.
also secretive. It was a house,
Aye.
the filming was in a bedroom in the house, and to this day I don't know what that house was like.
Was that nerve wracking? Was it doing something like that?
It was just really surreal. It was just really strange feeling. Just kind of like I was sitting in a room, just as we are here now, and they were just the three of them were just doing a scene as I was
Very
sitting there.
good,
So it was just us and the director.
Aye.
So, what am I doing here? Just goes to show you don't know where.
No, exactly,
these
exactly.
things can take you. But
Aye.
that was a brilliant experience.
Aye.
So, look, I've got your drawing ready here.
Absolutely fantastic. Let's get a look and let's see how I'm looking. Pete, you can judge. Is that me? I think it is. I think it is. We've got the hair at the front and everything. It's perfect. So
Haven't
it
too
is.
bad, or have it?
Of course, you can catch all Rory's stuff as well. Check him out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course his website. It's funkydoodles.co.uk. Thanks so much to Pete, our producer, and we've been at the Beach Lawns Hotel today filming. My name's been Dale Thomas. Bye for now. See you at the next episode. Thank you.